Ishavasyopanishad clearly states, Aham Brahmasmi. May I spiritually elevate my life and reach the state of God. May I elevate my life even above the greatness of the gods. To reach the state of Brahmatva, we shall first have to achieve the greatness of gods. And this greatness can be achieved only by reaching Siddhashram, because there we can sit in the feet of those sages who have first chanted the hymns of the Vedas, and we can listen to them chanting the mantras of Rigveda and Yajurveda. You may have heard or read that Gita is a discourse which Lord Krishna gave to Arjuna. We can sit before Krishna and listen to the whole philosophy of Srimad Bhagavad Gita from his own mouth. Can there be any fortune greater than this? Siddhashram is a large hermitage which is a place beyond Manasarovar near Mount Kailash, which seems to be endless. The Siddha Yoga lake remains ever filled with holy water. The water is so clean and pure that if a coin is dropped into it, then we can even read the inscriptions on the coin lying in the lake's bottom, at least a mile deep. The Upanishads and Puranas have elucidated only 4 achievements of life: Dharma, that is religion; Artha, that is wealth; Kama, that is pleasures; and Moksha, that is salvation. Dharayati sadharmaha, that is, which is adopted in life is dharma or religion. Through Kama, we are able to reproduce, and this is the basis of a family life. Through Artha, we are able to achieve all comforts and pleasures of life. But what is Moksha? Is death salvation? Is the destruction of the physical form salvation? Or is going to heaven salvation? I think all the philosophers and scholars have defined salvation in different ways, but it has been defined very beautifully in Narad Upanishad. In Mandokya Upanishad, Nachiketa asks Yama, what does salvation mean? What is its utility? What is its aim? Why should we attain salvation? Yama explains all this with very good examples. Moksha or salvation means freeing oneself from all the attachments in life. As soon as all humans are born, they become ensnared in hundreds of attachments. We may be the father of someone and the son of someone else. Someone is our brother, someone is our uncle. We may be someone's servant and someone's master. Thus, all these attachments or relations, as we call them, tie down our lives from the very moment we take birth. One says, he is my son. The other says, he is my brother. One says, he is my nephew. The other says, he is my friend. One says, he is my neighbor. The other says, he belongs to my caste. All these are shackles. As we go on in life, these attachments go on increasing. As man progresses in life, he becomes tied up with his wife, children, the society, the nation. He becomes enmeshed in the snares of religion, wealth, philosophy, work, and several other material attachments. Breaking all these fetters is called moksha. Salvation does not mean death. It means attaining freedom from all bondages. Hence, we can attain salvation even during our lives. It is not necessary that we can attain salvation only after the age of 100 years. Prahlada attained salvation at the age of merely 5 years, while Vasishtha attained it after hundreds of years. Narada achieved salvation in a few years. When a human becomes free from all attachments and attains the state called Paramahans, then this process of achieving this state is called moksha or salvation. And the path on which such a person progresses is the way to Siddhashram. Before reaching this state, it is not possible to go to Siddhashram. A person who is shackled in such attachments cannot concentrate his energies in reaching Siddhashram. Hence, the first step to it is attaining salvation and freeing oneself from all bondages. He should remain contented in all states, whether he gets food or not, whether he has to sleep on a bed or a floor, whether he is married or not. Such a person has no wish, no desire, and no selfishness in his life. He becomes cut off from all attachments. When the whole world seems uniform to him, then he is able to feel the presence of the whole world, of the entire universe in himself. When he realizes that no one belongs to him and he belongs to no one, then he attains salvation. And if we can become tied up with attachments in our lives, then if we try, we can even become free of them. This process of attaining freedom is salvation, and when a person achieves this state, then every step he takes forward brings him close to Siddhashram. Hence, reaching Siddhashram is a stage after attaining salvation. When I talk about reaching Siddhashram, it does not mean that you take 5 to 10,000 rupees and along with your relatives and friends reach Siddhashram and have a picnic. This is not a correct interpretation. Siddhashram means a place where Lord Krishna is present even today, giving a discourse on Gita, saying, first you have to become free from the shackles of all religions. You are neither a Hindu nor a Muslim, and nor are you a Christian or a Sikh. You are nothing. Just concentrate in me. I shall initiate you onto the path to salvation, having vanquished all your sins, all your vices like lies, deceit, jealousy, and having freed you of all attachments. When you shall attain salvation, you won't see anyone as your relative, friend, brother, or guru. Hence, if you want to win the war, then selfishness, religion, these attachments should not be obstacles in your way. Lord Krishna used the word moksha before Arjuna. He says, you have to detach yourself from all these things and have to stand up as a complete personality. And only when you do this shall you be able to progress on the right path. This was a sermon with deep significance, and after this, Krishna says, O Arjuna, just vanquishing all these shackles and winning a kingdom is not the real goal of your life. This is not the totality of your life. Rather, the goal of your life is becoming a Siddha or accomplished after attaining salvation. And Siddha is one who achieves divinity, one who condenses the whole universe into himself. Then in order to see the universe, he does not have to look outside but can see it within by entering into oneself. And the process of entering into oneself is the process to reach Siddhashram. In fact, Siddhashram constitutes the completeness of one's life, while salvation is just a milestone in the eternal spiritual journey of life. We are all born from the womb of a mother, and we lead our lives shackled in mundane attachments. And when the thoughts of a person reach the divine state, then he attains salvation and a new thought process is initiated into his conscience. What have I to see in life? Where have I to lead my life? I have to reach the secret realms in the universe. I have to fuse into divinity. I have to understand all the Vedas, and thus I have to become complete in myself. This process of becoming complete is the way to reach Siddhashram, because after this there remains no deficiency in life. The process of achieving everything in life is the way to reach Siddhashram. It is not a place where one can sit down, closing one's eyes and meditate. It is a state denoting totality of life. It is a philosophy. In Mandokya Upanishad, Nachiketa asked Lord Yama, why is reaching Siddhashram so necessary in life? Yama says, a human keeps swinging endlessly like a pendulum between two extremes, that is, birth and death, and he has no control over either of them. He takes birth not on his own, but he is pushed into life and he dies due to his evil tendencies. And when through our intelligence and our efforts we are able to progress on the divine path, then we are able to exercise control over life and death, which is the first step to reach Siddhashram. Here, two things are necessary. Firstly, the life should be freed of all selfishness, deceit, lies, and all such bondages, and secondly, death should be conquered, thus clearing one's way to Siddhashram. Nachiketa then asked the second question, which is the path to be chosen after conquering death? Please explain this to me, for you are my Guru. As has just been explained that life and death both are beyond the control of a human being, but he can conquer death and progress forward. Yama says, Nachiketa, in order to achieve totality of life, you have to show aside death, and thus you have to move on. Death is not a thing to be feared. It is a jewel of life. It is a true joy. It is a process of seeing the divine. The people in this world are shackled with attachments, hence they fear death. They panic and tremble just by hearing of death. They eat medicines and potions and resort to all sorts of methods to avoid death. They close themselves in their houses, load their guns, arm themselves with swords and spears, and put up maximum security. But despite all this, they can't escape death, and all their efforts go in vain. And only the Guru, who is a confluence of divinity, can guide you onto the correct path and tell you not to fear death. He shall tell you that there is no need to arm yourself with guns and spears, or to close yourself in your house in order to conquer death. To defeat death, you have to resort to the process, that is sadhanas. Shariram sadhayati, that is, only the person who can control his body and the whole universe can conquer death. Just as we kick a football, similarly, the person who gets rid of all attachments can kick death and can thus conquer it. His life can thus become eternal, and death cannot harm him. Death cannot come near him because he has claimed victory over it. And the process of conquering death and attaining totality of life is sadhana, the Siddhashram sadhana.